Hey everyone, welcome back for another deep dive with us.
Always pleasure to be here.
Today we're tackling something that can really get those wheels turning up in your head, especially if you happen to be a student right now.
Ooh, sounds intriguing. What are we diving into?
We're taking a look at these 50 daily journal prompts for students.
Okay,
They're from a site called Listallion.com. They do all sorts of journals and stuff.
cool. I've heard of them, yeah.
And this blog post of theirs is seriously packed with prompts that are designed to make journaling a daily habit.
Nice.
So, ready to see what kind of thoughts we can unlock?
Definitely. Let's dive in. What caught your eye about these prompts?
Well, first off, Listallion didn't just, randomly throw prompts together.
Right.
They've actually got them sorted into 5 categories, which is pretty neat.
Oh, that's interesting. What are the categories?
You've got school life, you've got personal growth, friendships and connections,
Okay.
hobbies and passions, and dreams and aspirations.
Wow, that's pretty comprehensive. It sounds like they're really aiming for students to, explore all these different parts of their lives.
Yeah, it's like they're going for a much more well-rounded journaling experience.
Ah, like that. Holistic.
But what really stood out to me is how some prompts are kind of what you'd expect, like reflecting on your favorite subject.
Mm-hmm.
But then others have this really unique twist that makes you kind of stop and think more deeply.
I see what you mean. So it's not just about jotting down the basics of your day.
Exactly.
It's about prompting some real introspection. I like that.
Yeah, it's like they're low-key sneaking in some psychology lessons.
Uh-huh, maybe. Give me an example of a prompt that stood out to you.
Okay, so instead of just asking, what's your favorite subject?
Yeah.
They've got one that's like, what makes it interesting and how do you feel when you learn more about it?
Oh, I like that. It goes deeper, right? It's not just about the what, but the why.
Exactly. And that why can tell you so much about yourself.
Totally. It reminds me of that concept of metacognition, thinking about your own thinking.
Oh, yeah. I remember learning about that in a class. Wasn't that supposed to be key for effective learning?
Absolutely. And these prompts are gently nudging students toward that kind of thinking.
It's smart.
It's subtle, but powerful.
There's another one that asks about a time you asked for help at school.
Interesting.
Which, again, might seem simple.
Right.
But think about it for students who maybe struggle to reach out,
Yeah, absolutely. That could be huge.
It's like it normalizes asking for help, which we all know is a super important life skill.
For sure. But it can feel scary, especially when you're younger.
Yeah, it's like you think it makes you look weak or something.
Right, exactly. But by reflecting on those experiences, maybe students can start to see it differently.
Yeah, hey, asking for help, that takes courage. That's not weak at all.
Exactly. And it can even help them realize, oh, there were all these benefits I didn't even think about. It's so true. So, what do you think all this means for, our listeners out there?
Well, especially for the students who are maybe listening.
Yeah, why should they care about these journal prompts?
Well, imagine having this toolkit filled with all these little prompts that can help you deal with the ups and downs of school.
Yeah, I can see that.
Journaling, even just for a few minutes each day, can be like that toolkit.
Interesting. So it's not just about writing, it's about having a strategy to handle stuff.
Exactly. It can help you manage stress, process all those emotions, set goals, even boost your confidence. And Listallion, they don't just give you prompts, they throw in some genuinely inspiring quotes too.
Oh, like what?
There's one that says, every small effort you put into learning brings you closer to achieving your dreams.
I love that. It's a good reminder that even the little things count.
Exactly.
Okay, so out of all these prompts we've talked about so far,
Yeah.
is there one that, really stands out to you? And why? That's a tough one. They're all so good. But, the one about reflecting on a time you felt truly confident really resonates with me.
Oh, interesting. Why that one?
Well, I think building self-confidence is so important, especially during those student years when everything feels new and uncertain.
Yeah, I get that.
And by revisiting those moments of confidence, maybe students can start to figure out what sparked those feelings,
Oh, I see. What made them feel strong and how can they tap into that again?
Exactly. It's about understanding yourself better and using that knowledge to face future challenges.
That's a great point. Okay, so let's shift gears a bit and look at the personal growth category.
Right. Let's see what we've got.
I have a feeling there's some real gems hidden in there.
I'm ready. Yeah, this personal growth section, it's all about encouraging students to, become more self-aware, more resilient, more proactive in shaping their own lives.
I'm seeing that. It's like they've created a roadmap for like personal development. But instead of strict directions, it's all these thought-provoking prompts.
I like that analogy. It's like a guide, not a dictator.
Exactly.
So what kind of prompts are we talking about here?
Well, there's one about setting a personal goal and then like outlining the steps to achieve it.
Oh, that's a good one. It's not just about dreaming big, it's about actually taking action.
Right, and breaking it down into those like smaller steps.
Exactly, making it feel less overwhelming, more doable.
Okay, so then there's this other one that I thought was really interesting.
Yeah.
It's about like reflecting on facing challenges
Okay.
and what helps you overcome them.
Ooh, that's powerful. We often focus on the challenges themselves, but not what got us through them.
It's true. And I think that kind of reflection can be so empowering,
Absolutely. It's like
Sure.
every time we successfully navigate a challenge, we're basically like rewiring our brains.
Whoa, really?
Yeah, we're strengthening those neural pathways associated with like problem solving and resilience.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So this prompt is kind of helping students tap into that.
Exactly. Recognize those strengths, build on them.
That's awesome. Okay, what else is in this section?
Oh, and there's one in here about self-care, which I love.
Especially during those like super busy times that students have.
Oh, yeah, for sure. They're constantly on the go. It's like they're reminding students that it's okay to, take a break,
Yeah.
recharge, prioritize their well-being.
That's essential.
Absolutely not selfish at all. And actually, Listallion has this quote that I think goes perfectly with that.
Okay, let's hear it.
It says, "Growth happens in the little moments when you step outside your comfort zone. Trust the process and embrace the journey."
Ooh, I love that. Okay, so we've talked about stepping outside comfort zones.
Right.
And the next category, friendships and connections, kind of seems to focus on that too, but in like a social context.
Yeah, this section is all about like relationships, how to build healthy connections, how to be a good friend.
It's interesting how they've included that in here.
Right. It shows they're not just thinking about academics and personal growth.
Yeah, it's like the whole picture, the social emotional stuff too.
Exactly, which is so crucial, especially for students.
Okay, so what are some of the prompts in this category that stood out to you?
Well, there's one that asks, what makes your closest friendships special and how do you support each other?
Ah, that's a sweet one. I think that can really make you appreciate those close bonds.
It really can. And it highlights that strong friendships aren't just about like shared hobbies or whatever.
Yeah, it's deeper than that. It's about that mutual support.
Exactly. And there's another one that encourages reflection on like resolving conflicts with a friend.
Oh, that's a good one. Conflict is inevitable, right?
Absolutely, in any relationship. So learning how to handle those disagreements is a skill that'll serve them well beyond school.
Yeah, for sure. What other prompts did you notice in this section?
Oh, and I love how they included one about showing kindness to others.
Oh, yeah.
In a world that can feel so self-centered sometimes, it's a good reminder that even small acts of generosity can make a difference.
Totally. Spreading that positivity. Okay, I'm ready for the next category if you are.
Let's do it. Hobbies and passions, right?
Yeah, that one's always fun to explore.
I think this category is so important because it really taps into like intrinsic motivation.
Oh, what's that?
It's like that inner drive to do something simply because you enjoy it,
Yeah,
Not for any external reward or validation, just pure enjoyment.
I like that.
And these prompts are all about getting students to think about those passions.
Okay, so what kind of prompts are we talking about here?
Well, there's one that asks you to describe a time when you felt completely immersed in something you love.
Ooh, I know that feeling. Like when you're so focused, you lose track of time.
Exactly. Psychologists actually call that a flow state.
Oh, cool.
And it's super beneficial for like creativity, learning, well-being, all that.
Wow, I didn't realize there was a whole term for it.
Yeah. And these prompts encourage students to not only recognize those moments, but think about how to create more of them.
I love that. Like hacking into your own happiness and productivity. What else is there?
Well, there's another one about like sharing your passion with someone else.
Oh, yeah, that can be so rewarding.
Totally. It can spark new ideas, create connections, maybe even lead to collaborations.
So true. And let's not forget about like trying new things.
Right. There's a prompt about discovering something new that you enjoy, which I think is essential for lifelong learning.
It's like never stop exploring, right?
Exactly. And to kind of sum up this whole category, Listallion has this quote that I just love. It says, "Your passions are a window into your soul. Follow what excites you and let it lead you to incredible experiences."
Ooh, that's beautiful. I'm feeling inspired already. Okay, you ready for the last category?
Yeah, let's do it. Dreams and aspirations, right?
Yep. That sounds like we're about to get deep.
I'm ready. This dreams and aspirations category, it's like where things get really, really interesting.
Oh, how so?
Well, it's all about encouraging students to, look ahead,
Hmm.
set those sights high, and really picture the future they want.
I like that. So what are some of the prompts that help them do that?
Well, there's one that asks about a dream you've held on to since childhood.
Oh, that's a good one. Especially as students are, like, starting to think about their path in life.
Exactly. And by revisiting those childhood dreams, they can learn so much about themselves.
Oh, like what?
Well, their core values, their passions,
Okay.
maybe even uncover some aspirations they might have, forgotten about along the way.
It's like reconnecting with that inner child who wasn't afraid to dream big.
Exactly.
Okay, so what other prompts stood out to you in this section?
There's one that asks you to think about someone who inspires you.
Oh, that's a classic.
Yeah.
Everyone needs role models, right?
For sure. Especially when you're young and trying to figure out who you want to be.
Right. So it's not just about identifying the person, it's about, like, reflecting on their qualities.
Exactly. What do you admire about them? Their resilience, their creativity, their kindness, whatever it is, those role models can, serve as these guiding lights on our own journeys.
I like that. Okay, what else is in this category?
Well, there's a prompt about defining success, which I think is so important.
Oh, yeah, that's a big one. Especially because, there's so much pressure these days to achieve certain things.
Totally. But true success, it's personal, It's not a
Right.
one-size-fits-all kind of thing.
Exactly. So this prompt is encouraging students to, like, come up with their own definition of success.
Exactly. Align it with their values. Pursue what matters to them. It's empowering.
I love that. It's like taking ownership of your own journey.
Absolutely. And of course, Listallion leaves us with another fantastic quote here.
Okay, what is it?
It says, "Dream big, start small, and believe in yourself. Each step you take brings your aspirations closer to reality."
Ooh, chills. That's so good. So we've explored all 5 categories of these journal prompts. Out of all of them, is there one in this final category that, like, really speaks to you personally?
The one about reflecting on a small step you took towards a goal recently really resonates with me.
Interesting. Why that one?
Well, I think it's a good reminder that progress isn't always about, those huge milestones.
Yes, you get that.
It's often about those, seemingly insignificant actions that we take consistently.
So true. Like those little wins add up over time.
Exactly. So if I can offer one last thought for our listeners today,
Yeah.
even if you don't have a journal in hand right now, what's one prompt from today's deep dive that you could ask yourself today? Maybe it's about that childhood dream or a personal goal you're working towards, or simply what brings you joy. Just take a moment to reflect.
Ooh, that's a great challenge. And hey, if you're craving even more inspiration, head over to Listallion's website,
Yeah, they've got the full list of 50 prompts there.
plus tons of other journaling resources.
Definitely worth checking out.
Awesome. Well, that wraps up another deep dive. Thanks for joining us.
It's been a pleasure. Until next time.
Keep those thoughts flowing.